My favorite comic book is it's probably Amazing Spider-Man. I like the stories. The art's real good, especially when McFarlane did it. I like the Joker. I think he's a real cool character, and I like his costume.
Well, I bought a Detective 31 a couple of years ago, so I guess I'd say Detective is my favorite series. I got into it because my son, he was showing me all the artwork, and I just got real interested, and it became a thing where we could do a father and son thing together and come down to the convention here, and we're having a lot of fun. No, it was my son who got into it first, and then he got me interested. So I never read comics when I was a kid. My mom says, no, just throw all that stuff away. How many books do you got now?
Do I have? Boxes. Boxes.
He's really the enthusiast. Great, thanks.
And when that guy points at you, tell him about your favorite comic and why. Say, my favorite comic is...
Wait, what's my favorite comic?
Solar 3.
No, Harbinger.
Okay, Harbinger.
Okay, wait. Okay. Harbinger. And I like it because you can understand reading it. Hi, Mom.
Collect comics?
Yes, I collect comics.
How long have you been doing it?
For about 2 years. About $1,000. And my best comic's $100.
What comic is that?
Magnus Robot Fighter number 12, Turok's first appearance.
Okay, wait, hold on, can I think about this? What's my favorite comic, Rick? Rick, what's your favorite comic? Okay. Okay, my favorite comic is X-O Manowar 4, and it's the first appearance of Shadow Man, and it's Valiant. Yep. What?
I'm going to wander. I'll be back.
What do I say? My favorite book is Spawn. It's by Todd McFarlane, and I mostly like it because of the art. It's really good art.
Don't believe anything you said. It's all bullshit.
And
My God!
I'm hoping to find McFarlane somewhere. I think he's upstairs right now.
I need money.
I just want to talk to him. Talk to him about his books and stuff that he's doing right now.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're producing a show for Andy then?
What it is, it's a neat thought. You're just discussing what are your favorite things to collect and why.
Okay. Just introduce myself, or
Really. And if you want to, you can. You can say anything you want as long as it's not obscene or horrible.
okay. Yes, I've been collecting comics pretty much for the last 30 years. Primarily, I've grown to appreciate more of the Golden Age books now. So I'm collecting more of the Golden Age books, specifically specific artists like Lou Fine, Will Eisner. And primarily what I'm going for now is anything to do with Lou Fine art. I think he's one of the premier artists in comic book history. It's something that you start collecting when you're a kid, and you just continue to enjoy it. It's something I've always enjoyed when I was a kid, and I still enjoy the books even as you grow older. There's still everybody likes to collect something. There's always some kind of nostalgia going back to what you used to read in the early days. Okay, is that?
Right. The credential goes in.
Yeah, the credential goes in.
Sure. Whenever.
What is your exact?
Executive Vice President and Publisher this year.
This year?
They change it every year too, just to confuse me.
The mark is approximately right there. This is Paul Levitz, Executive Vice President and Publisher of DC Comics. And what he's going to talk about is sort of his and DC's worldview of the world of comics.
Oh, all in one soundbite, huh? Well, with 22,000 comic books cluttering my house, I think I qualify as a fairly serious collector over the years, although I mostly gave up acquiring new things other than current material when the prices started to get serious. I think the joy of comic book collecting is you're collecting something that you can read and enjoy and see evolve. I never saw it much as an economic form of collecting or speculating. I always enjoyed it just because the nature of the medium is sequential and evolutionary, and if you have a fuller collection of it, you can see that evolution through the process. It's my soundbite.
My favorite comic book is the X-Men because over the years, the writers and artists and all the other people who work on the comic put a lot into it in order to bring out the life of the characters, and it's as good as any movie, and it just goes on and on. It keeps you interested. It has its good times and its bad times. And not only is it for the story, but entertainment through the art. Comic books is an American art form, and X-Men does a pretty good job of showing all forms of art. They show, different styles from different people. After 20 or 30 issues, then they go on to a different artist to show another style. And X-Men has been around for 30 years, and most likely will be around for another 30, even though Batman and Superman are dead, so that's why I like the X-Men.
How about your buddies? Tell us about your favorite comic book.
My favorite comic book, Spawn, from Image. Todd McFarlane draws that, and sort of a hero. Oh yeah, I read a lot of others, but if there is any comic that, if I had to keep one comic out of all of them, it would be Spawn. So, yes, I collect comics. I try and get some special comics like Gold Wildcats and stuff like that. If you want to see some of those, and pull them out. I don't know. It's just, I guess I wish I could be those superheroes. So, I like reading them, and some of them I think have a lot more of a meaning to them, and they're not just empty pictures. So.
Okay, well then, favorite comic book? You have a favorite?
Not really.
Oh, do you read comic books?
Oh, yeah.
Well, stand right there and tell us which ones you read.
I don't read many. I read Archie, that's about it.
You like Archie?
Yeah.
What do you like about Archie?
I like the drawing and the writing.
What else?
I like the stories and the characters, and it's funny.
How old are you?
I'm 9.
Where do you go to school?
I go to school in Lompoc. It's up near Santa Barbara. Yeah, I usually keep them on a bookshelf. What is this for?
For a documentary on comic book.
Oh, cool.
Are you a comic book collector?
Yeah.
Are you a comic book collector? Would you like to tell us about your favorite comic?
What do you want to know?
What's your favorite comic and why?
Talk to that camera. Yeah, well, I guess probably my favorite comic would probably have to be Justice League because I just like the humor in it mainly. I'm not into the superhero sort of stuff. I just like the way most of the time they're just plain human and just, I don't know, joking with each other. So. Anything else?
Good job. Any of these folks have a favorite comic?
Yeah, the shy one. Come on over here.
Tell that camera about your favorite comic. It's a doc. Yeah, why don't you get in here together?
I like Spawn because of the art. Oh yeah, we like X-Men. Like X-Men.
I like Wildcats.
Image stuff. Because
Image stuff,
they have good art.
Great
good
story.
stories.
That's it. Great art.
Having a great time.
Having a great time.
You like the stories or is it just the art?
The art and the
Both.
stories. Both.
Yeah. They're fun.
You read things other than the X-Men?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Batman. Superman.
All the superheroes.
Yeah.
Good, perfect.
Okay, bye.
What channel is this?
Your favorite comics. Look right at that camera and tell
Like
about
the
your favorite
company
comic. No, just specific comic.
Saturday. Spawn. I like Spawn. Okay, well, Spawn's a good comic, and we like Todd McFarlane's art. And Savage Dragons by Eric Larson, he's good too. We like Image. Image is our favorite company. I don't really like Marvel or DC. Yeah. Just those. Well, I read other comics sometimes, but I like Image best. Okay.
Stand right there.
Okay.
Most people start. My favorite comic book is
Lobo and
Lobo.
Captain America.
DC Comics rules, man.
Comics. Image. Can't stand Image. They're too not enough, for the characters.
I know there's no characters in Image really.
They got all the good artists, but that's about it.
We're hoping Image will go under, so all the good artists will return to all the good comics.
Back to doing.
What they were meant to
they
do.
were once doing, going back to those.
When you're saying there's been a change in comics?
Yeah,
basically
ever
it's gone
since,
from quality
Image came
to
around,
cool.
Image came around, comics.
Yeah, the actual quality of comics and characters just shut down the drain.
Well, how do you mean quality to cool?
There's nothing to them. They're tough.
Another guy running around with big
guns and
spikes
spike shoulder
chains.
pads and chains. That's basically the quality of the comic.
That's a sum up of any character Rob Liefeld ever made.
What should comics be to you? What's the perfect comic?
Well, there's thousands. Like Groove's #1. I like funny comics, like Lobo's, A Parody on Violence. I like. There's tons of comics. DC produces a lot of good quality comics. Dark Horse produces lots of good quality comics. And X-Men. There's no real one perfect comic, but there are lots of comics that aren't perfect by far. So.
Thanks.
Let me ask you a question for the Green Hornet myself. Well, we're doing a documentary on comic book collectors for Overstreet Publications. Talk right in that
Talking to
camera.
them.
Yeah, just tell them what's your favorite comic.
I sort of like the Green Hornet and the Dark Knight myself. So latest ones I've been collecting are Dark Knight Returns, or Legend of the Dark Knights, and the Green Hornet series.
Why do you like the Green Hornet so well?
I grew up with it as a kid. Remember the old Van Williams TV series? I sort of like that. That was, and Bruce Lee, anything with Bruce Lee is pretty popular with me, so that's why I like it.
You mentioned that you started collecting. Do you collect all kinds of comics, or just the Green Hornet?
I'm very selective. I really am. I'm not like into X-Men like some of my friends or stuff like that. I just sort of like certain titles. I don't know. I hadn't collected comics in a long time, and when Frank Miller's Dark Knight came out, I got hooked again, and I've been going at it ever since. It's strictly Batman, Green Hornet, and then a few of the new, like, first edition comics. Sometimes I'll collect them for maybe later on the trade or something like that.
I was going to say, do you collect them because you like to go back and reread them? Or is
Oh, yeah, I do reread them. In fact, when my dad came to visit me, he just about went through my entire collection.
Is that the main reason you collect them, or do you collect them for the profitability?
No, I like some of the artists. Like some of the first Green Hornet comics or covers were done by Steranko, and one of the comics was designed by Van Williams. He just said how he wanted to lay it out, and I can't remember who did the artwork on it. But I've seen some of Steranko's work, and it just impressed me. And I've gotten, I collect a few of the Aliens and Predator and things like that, some of the Dark Horse, but like I came here today looking for the 4th Green Hornet episode of Sting, and I haven't been able to find it.
What do you think about a show like this?
You know, this is the first time I've ever come to one, and I'm really awed. I really am. I live in this town for almost 20 years. I know it comes here every year. This is the first time that I've been to this, and well, I came away happy. Not totally happy. I came looking for some Boris collector cards, and I found some of those. I found some of the Frazetta cards. I found a few comics that, you know, I was interested in and things like that. So, but yeah, I'm definitely coming back next year. Thanks.
They had a Catholic Civics dinner. The biggest applause of the whole thing was when they announced everybody gets a free hologram Malibu comic. Retailers here, that's kind of sad.
But
anyway,
weird.
Yeah.
Be sure and plug your store.
There you go. Okay, just go ahead.
I'm interested in knowing how you got started being a comic.
Okay. Got started in like 1986 again, and just was working at Long's drugstore, and they brought in a comic rack and kind of rediscovered my youth, and that led to now I'm more into old Batmans and detectives and Supermans from the 40s and 50s and the history of it all, and you can really tell what the times were like then as opposed to now, and how times have changed as you follow through the history of comics, and just the way the stories are told, and you know, just the ads in the comics are neat.
You kind of got into it because you rediscovered some feelings.
Yeah, exactly. Just rediscovered my youth. Is probably the best way to put it.
What I got?
And led from there to the point where in 1988 I opened a store and stand-up comics in El Cerrito, California, and it's going strong. And it's just from the love of the medium and making a little money, but having a lot of fun.
Comics have become more than just a hobby.
Right, more than just a hobby. It's my business now. Yeah, exactly. No, not really. But you know, being able to combine something I love and make it into a business and make a living at it, and it's great. I couldn't think of anything better. Yeah. All I got.
Another Bob. Bob, this is one of the retailers that carries our magazine, and I want to introduce him to you. Bob, this is Bob Aldrich. This gentleman's going to tell you why he loves comics.
Why do I love comics?
And what do you like the best?
I like the nostalgia factor. I like looking at things that I looked at as a kid. Of course, we all hate our mom for throwing away our old comics. I kind of have two categories. I collect comics that I like from when I was a kid, and then I have comics that I speculate on that I think are going to make me some money. So my pride and joy is my oldest comics, I think, or my most expensive comics. My 100 Captain America, which is really nice. I got a good deal on that. And what else?
What's your favorite comic book?
My favorite comic book? Oh boy, I don't think I have a real favorite. Let's see, Herbie the Fat Fury is always really interesting to read. That's a pretty old one though. The Alien Predator comics are always really interesting. All the new comics coming out now, Image and Valiant, they all seem to be kind of like the same storyline, almost all of them. I can't really tell one from the other one. I just pick it up and read it, and then who is this again? You know, you get them kind of mixed up. They all seem very similar to me.
What do you think of the way comics are today as opposed to when you were a kid?
More adult storylines, more graphic. Some of them are actually comics I wouldn't let my kids read, but a lot of kids are buying them.
Would you say you prefer the old comic books over today, or is it really better?
No, I don't prefer them. They're just different. They're just different. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Great.
Yeah, thanks.
What is this?
Talking about the world of comic books.
Oh.
You want to tell us about your favorite comic book?
Look into the camera. Valiant and Image are the best. I have no really particular favorite.
Like Spawn, Pit.
Yeah,
Those are
Pit.
the best.
Those and just basically Valiant and Image put together are the best.
Why do you like those?
Because they're the best storylines and best art and best everything.
Artwork stuff.
Do you ever read any of the old comic books from, say, 20, 30 years ago?
No.
Too expensive to get to read them.
Yeah.
Are you saving the comic books you have now so that one day they'll be just as expensive?
Yeah, that's why we're getting them autographed, so they'll be worth more.
So you consider yourselves starting collectors then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Been collectors for a couple of years.
Great, thank you. What about you? What's your favorite comic book?
Venom.
Venom.
Yeah.
Why do you like Venom so well?
I don't know. I like his attitude and just the basic overall.
You dressed up in something interesting. Is that a Venom costume?
Yeah.
Yeah, so now another thing is later tonight.
Great, thank you. It's a documentary on the world of comics. Come around here. We're putting together. Yeah, tell us what's your favorite comic. Come on, both of you get in there together. That'd be great. Just
My favorite comic
shoulder
book?
to shoulder like that.
The comic book?
Yeah, just tell us what your favorite comic book is.
Well, I didn't really come here for the comics. I came for the animation, Japanese animation. Yeah, I'm more interested in that. But I do collect comics. I guess my favorite would be Spider-Man. Yeah.
Vampire.
The
best.
I don't know. Alright.
Hopefully it will someday. We're putting them together.
All the time.
Hang on. I want to hear from these two. What's your favorite comic book?
Probably Appleseed. I don't know. It's just, it's good. And I don't know why I like it.
What you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at the camera and say what your favorite comic.
Probably Appleseed. I don't know why. It's a good storyline, and it's about 80 years from now. It's kind of whenever you throw all the cultures of the world together, see what happens. You get some good storylines.
Okay. That's great. Staying right there. You both of you together.
No, not both of us.
Oh, okay, well.
What's your favorite comic book?
X-Men.
A lot of people like X-Men. How come you like it so well?
Because it's the only comic that really excites me.
Why does it excite you?
Because it has a lot of action, more than most comics.
So action is what you look for in comic books.
All right.
Yes.
You made it.
Good, thanks.
Before you start, would you tell them how old you are too?
Yeah. I'm 12 years old. I'll be 13 in January. And my favorite comic book is Sleepwalker because my dad was collecting comic books since he was a kid. And then he got me started on comic books by buying me Disneys and stuff when he went to conventions. And I really got interested in those, and I have a few boxes at home. And then I was bagging and boarding comics for him, and I saw a Sleepwalker, and it looked interesting, so I asked my dad if I could read them. And now I have like 1 through 14 or something, and I'm just collecting those.
Thank you.
Let me think of something for it.
Okay,
sure. Oh, it's too stupid getting on here.
Sorry.
That'd be nice if we could get some.
Sure. Overstreet Publications.
All right, great. Just talk to these guys, look at the camera. I primarily collect comics because I enjoy the artwork, and sometimes the storylines are beyond pulpy, and so they're actually interesting and quite enjoyable. But primarily artwork's what governs my interest.
What's your favorite comic book?
It's really actually quite hard to say. I'm an Aliens fan, born and bred, so I like, of course, the Dark Horse series. But I really like Max Keith and his artwork. Well, I think that's really about it. The two comics that really stick out in my mind.
I collect a lot of comics too.
I do. I will admit a lot of them is motivated. A lot of my interests are motivated by price as an investment source. But there are a few certain series like I won't part with regardless. And primarily the Alien series because I collect any form of alien collectible.
Oh, my brother.
All right?
Perfect.
Okay, fantastic.
You may lose.
Come Come on in here.
Let me jump in front of there.
Step right in there. Just tell us what your favorite comic
Hi, my name is Lee. My favorite comic book is probably Amazing Spider-Man. Storyline's easy to follow. It's very entertaining. I started collecting as a youngster, just for the purpose of collecting. But then as I got older, it turned into an investment kind of thing. You start looking at the investment, the values of it. You know how the prices will appreciate as they get older if you keep them in good condition. And so that's my story.
Oh, very good job. Right there.
Get in there. Tell them the story.
Yeah, some of my favorites are Conan-type publications, which try to capture the natural essence of the warrior image which a lot of us trying to go for. So, besides the storyline, the investment properties, comics are really good as far as Overstreet and many other comic books that come in. I'm looking for the natural warrior type of comic book. That's my story.